Hey guys, welcome to week 6. This week we're going to be talking about some note-taking strategies. So after you watch this video, there are two sections for you to read, 5.2 and 5.3. There is a presentation, there is a short quiz, and a discussion board. It's a very short discussion board, a one or two sentence type of answer. This first one is about effective reading. The second one is about taking notes. So those are the chapters for you to read. Let's look at our presentation for this week. So the first thing that we are looking at is effective reading. What is effective reading? Reading effectively means reading in a way that helps you understand, evaluate, and reflect on a written text. As you might guess, these skills are very important to a college student. No matter what field you're going into, you'll be doing a lot of reading. So they break up effective reading into some different categories. And these are, I always point to this graph. Like I say this every time. I point to the screen thinking you know what I'm pointing at. Anyways, this right here is also broken down over here. So here are some different effective reading strategies. The first one is skimming. And I will say for this purpose right here, I'm talking about informational text. So like the textbooks that you guys would be reading for your different classes is what I'm specifically talking about. So the first one is skimming. Different things you can read from back to front. This talks about this in the little chapter. The first time I heard about this, I was like, that sounds absolutely insane. Why would I read the chapter from the back to the beginning? Well, a lot of times in informational text, um, at the very end, there will be a summary, right? And you can read that summary and get the gist of what the whole chapter was about. Um, Sometimes in the beginning, there will be like an introduction paragraph. So maybe you could just read like the introduction, you can read the summary, and then by reading those two things, you got the overall gist of what the chapter was about. Sometimes in the back of chapters or at the end of chapters, there will be review questions. You could look through those questions, and so you know that, okay, the answers to these questions are going to be what this chapter is all about. This one says bottom to top. So oftentimes chapters and articles end with a summary, list of vocabulary, and or questions. So the next thing is looking at the headings and subheadings, and then noticing things like text features, such as pictures, graphs, charts, things that are bolded, things that are just in different colors or font, highlighted words. I'll tell you right now, I don't know how many chapters, and I don't know if I should say this whenever I'm asking you guys to read sections and read chapters. When I was in college personally, I really don't remember ever sitting down and reading a chapter word for word. I get bored too fast. I just do. And so I would go through and I would read the headings and read the subheadings, um, and notice those text features, because if they're going to take the time to put it in a text feature, then by golly, that information is probably important. Um, Anyways, so there's one strategy that you can use. Active reading. If I am really trying to understand a piece of text and really like dive deep into it, I will do this. And this is a little bit harder for me anyways, for books that are online versus like actual hard copy books. But you can take notes while you're reading. You can highlight parts, set symbols like little question marks, stars, for things that maybe you want to notice or things that you want to go back and look at. So that would be active reading, taking notes while you're reading it and marking things down. This one is the SQ3R or the SQ4R method. So you start by surveying. So basically, you just skim, right? You look at those text features, you look at those subheadings, and you just skim through. Then after do that, you create some questions. This, I will say the strategy takes more time, but some people like it. So then maybe you'll create a list of a few questions. Then you'll go back and read. Take notes, read through the passage. Recite means to speak out loud. So maybe you're actually reading it out loud. So you're hearing it and reading it. And then going back and reviewing the questions that you asked in the beginning, answering those, and going back and reviewing and seeing how maybe your questions changed or you can add on things. This is a little bit of a longer video, but I do have a note. The most helpful information is from about 1:50 to 8 minutes and 14 seconds. So if you don't want to sit through the whole video, at least maybe watch that chunk of it. And she talks about better ways of effective reading. She's a little bit goofy, a little bit out there, but great information. These are some more strategies on effectively reading. Not that you have to watch the video, but I just thought maybe this could be helpful. Okay, note taking. Just like when we're talking about time management strategies, note taking strategies, same thing. What works for you might not work for somebody else, and that's totally fine. So the first thing when we're thinking about note taking, what supplies do we need, right? Do we need our laptop? Are you a pen and paper type person? Do you like to highlight? Do you like to have sticky notes? Um, do you prefer a tablet? Whatever. You got to figure out what supplies you need. These following are different note-taking strategies that I have copied and pasted from different sources. Um, try them out if you want. If you don't want to, it's up to you. Maybe you want to create your own out of all of these, but these were some of the most popular ones that I have seen so far. So I'm not going to take the time and go through each one of them. You can do that. But here are some several different strategies. This is another video that's a little bit longer. And by longer, I mean like, yeah, what this says until 7 minutes. I don't know. But I found the most helpful information from 5:11 to 7:47 if you are interested in looking at this video. This was another short video. I taking note. Less than 5 minutes. Okay. These are some resources that I have found that I just want to share with you. I know I have talked about Speechify already, but if you haven't looked into that, any of these that are underlined, you should, I say that. I set this up to where like you click, that's what it was. Read my own directions that I put, Ashley, duh. If you click on the images, it will take you there. Grammarly, if you don't already have Grammarly in downloaded as an extension or whatever, do that. It's a little grammar check, spell check, right? That's Grammarly. Speechify, I've already talked about that enough. All of these apps on this side are about note taking. This one also has some time management things, and these are different online note taking resources. These YouTube channels are some of the ones that I have linked to videos throughout, but just their channels in general are great information. And then some different website links that you can. This one, I believe this one right here, this exam study is where I got most of those screenshots that I just like clipped into the presentation. This is for Carl Albert's online resources. We've got some extra things there. And this Gretchen, I think she was the girl, the one that I said was a little bit goofy in the first video. So, Effective reading and note-taking strategies look different for everyone. In the end, you just have to find what works best for you. When it comes to effective reading and note-taking, if you are interested in discussing those in more detail, just like with the time management, contact me and I would be happy to help find some things that work for you. After you have gone through the chapters in the presentation, there's this quiz, and then here is our discussion board for this week. Seriously, like two little questions. Do you currently have a preferred way of taking notes? Which note-taking strategy from the textbook and or presentation do you think will be most beneficial to you? You're like, why are you even asking this? One, I would like to know, if there's a current way that you like to take notes, please share that. Just so it's more tools for my toolbox, more things that I can share with other students. Um, and so if you do have one, please share what that is. And then, which note-taking strategy do you think would be beneficial, or which one would you just maybe like to try out? Um, so I read through your replies and everybody in the class, there's like 62 or 63 of you in here. And so I like it when you guys do discussion boards just so that, and I know this one's like really short, but you might list a way of note taking that works for you, and somebody else might go through here and read it and be like, oh my gosh, I need to try that. That might work for me. Um, so I know it seems like so short, so silly. Why are we even doing this? But I have used people's feedback on this one to help other students out with. So, anyways, I'll quit rambling like I always say. If you need anything by now, I hope you know how to contact me. I hope you have got. Is it one of my videos if I don't mess up my words? Is it? Anyways, see you guys later. Bye.